Hey guys, what is going on out there this Monday morning? Good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day wherever you are. Maybe you're catching this on the replay. Whatever. What's up? What's going on? Hope you had a good weekend. Man, some amazing stuff, right? The US Open this weekend, the women's final. Emma Raducanu, you got to be kidding me. Wow. Anyway, and yeah, kind of disappointed that Novak did not get the Grand Slam, but at the same time, got to give it up to Medvedev. Man, the kid just played incredible. And for me, I'm kind of glad to see some new players starting to win, right? I mean, not that I'm tired of watching the Fed. Man, you know, obviously love his game, love his style of play and all that. But it's nice to see some new guys and gals out there. Anyway, what I got for you today is serve and volley covering the lob. And look, before we get into that, just a quick reminder: if there's some part of your game, could be technique, could be tactics, strategy, mental, physical, some other part of your game. If you want some private one-on-one help, I'm here to help you. You know, I mean, a lot of players out there are kind of DIYers, they're do-it-yourselfers. And maybe there are some few things that you can figure out on your own, but so much of the game is really tough to do. And especially with like technique, you know, you really need to have two things. Number one, you need to have a model to copy. Video is a great way to do that because it's always available to you, right? You might have a great teaching pro, on-court pro who can demonstrate something for you. It looks great, but that's only for that moment right then and there. Really, if you want to impress upon your brain, eventually get it to become down in your subconscious and your unconscious, you need a video model to copy from. And from there, then you need to be able to have someone help you. Well, what are the specific, we'll call them fundamentals, but really what are the specific parts of that model that you can get clarity on in terms of them being able to go out in the court and kind of consciously feel what are those different parts, what are those different chunks of the model that you want to eventually kind of stitch together, right? And copy. So if you want some help with the game, I do offer some some online private one-on-one coaching. And again, if it's technique, you can send me a short video of whatever that stroke is you're working on, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison with me so that you can see exactly what maybe minor or bigger differences are in there that I need to help you clean up. If you're interested in doing this, again, it's private, it's one-on-one. We do it through Zoom or we can do it through StreamYard, either one. Both of those are simple to use. Send me an email, brent@webtennis.com. I'll get back to you with the details, how it works, the price, and then you decide if this is something that might be a good fit for your game. Guys, let's talk about serve and volley in doubles specifically, obviously, if you're going to cover the lob. And, you know, one of the first things that I think is a myth or is an instruction that I just don't believe in, and that goes something like this. Well, if you're serving, you're telling your partner, hey, partner, you got to cover your half of the court. You got to cover your side of the court. You got to cover not only the volleys, anything in the middle that you can pick off, but you got to cover the lob. Because, man, I'm serving and volleying, I'm coming in, and all I'm concerned about is getting in through what, you know, is unfortunately called no man's land. But that I just don't believe, because I want my partner, I want my net partner, just as we see, you know, you're truly with a serve and my buddy Chris up there starting to show a little movement, right? And that little movement could have been the thing that triggered the lob from Paul. Who knows? We don't know for sure. So I want Chris to be able to feel free up there, that he can move, he can pick off anything, he can get a little closer to the net if that's what he wants. And that, you know what, Chris, I got you covered. If there's a lob that goes up, you know, I'm going to put the brakes on and go get it. So that's kind of thing number one, is I'm going to make sure that when I come out of my serve and volley, or when I come out of my serve and go into moving forward, there's always a chance that I'm going to have to cover a lob over my partner, and that's okay. Look, if you've got some kind of physical injury, right? Some kind of permanent injury that just means that you're really limited to what your sphere of influence is in terms of court coverage, then it's going to be a tough go. It's going to be a tough go. And you may have to tell your partner, hey man, I can only cover my half of the court, so you got all of yours. Well, then in that case, your partner, in this case, Chris, is going to back up because he's got to be able to cover this lob right here, which is going to be tough, right? So if that's the case, then there you go. Then that partner of yours is going to have to play back a little bit. Now here's the next thing to consider. If it's a known opponent, and here it is, it's a second serve, right? I missed first serve, coming in behind the second. Paul knows that a second serve obviously is slower, even though he's moving up to kind of take time away from me. He's got to hit a pretty good return to make sure that it's down at my feet and that it doesn't, give me a volley that I can work with. So I know that that's in his toolbox. I know that a lob is a possibility from him, right? So I'm always considering, all right, I've got to not only cover my half of the court, but on this particular situation, I've got to cover the lob. So for a moment in time, I've got to cover 75% of our court, and that's okay, right? Right? I can't stop him from lobbing. I can't stop him from chipping and charging into my alley. I can't stop him from driving a ball, right? That's all right. You're going to have to deal with that, assuming that you want your partner to kind of shake and bake up there, right? So look, that's kind of my philosophy. And again, if it's an unknown opponent, then you're going to have to probe and find out. And so look, I feel like I can wait to see what Paul's going to do and put the brakes on here, right? The lob is already probably, is it at the net? Probably right about now. It's crossing, trying to get ourselves into a decent court position as a team. So driving the ball with a highlight topper backhand makes no sense. If I hit a winner up the line, or if I hit a winner between the two guys, or fancy roll dipper cross court in front of Lenny, okay, great. What are the chances of that? 1 out of 1,000. So there's no point in doing it. It's probably 1 out of 2 that you can drive it and hit it cleanly, but you're going to take time away from you guys getting back into a good court position as a team. So my only thought here is that let's just get under the ball and let's buy time. Let's see how high we can hit it. And once we start to notice Lenny's going back, we're coming in. All right. So let me go back to here, and we're going to look at this thing in real time. Missed my first serve, and now, well, there's the miss of the first serve, right? And so look, brakes on, go get it. Just go get it, lob it high, and if it's deep enough, come on in, right? Chris with a tough little nasty half volley. I got an overhead. I played kind of a dumb cross-court half volley, but get out of it. And but look, the reason that we win that point is because we've got the net position, right? And it temporarily started off where we didn't have net position because Paul plays this good lob, right? So for a moment, for one shot for us, they've got the net position. I think I was saying court position. My apologies. They've got the net position. But all you've got to do with this is get under it, finish the swing, Don't flick it, finish it, get it up high. And if it's deep enough, then you guys come on in. And guess what? Now you've taken away their advantage with the team net position. Now you guys have it, right? And you just wait it out, right? You just wait it out to the perfect opportunity to where now, because you still have the good net position as a team, you wait it out, and it eventually, the opportunity presents itself. So that's it. All I can tell you is that if you've got a partner who was telling you, because if you're the partner of the serve and volley guy or gal, and they're telling you, hey man, you got to cover your half of the court, because I'm just going to cover mine. And that to me is like, okay, then I'm going to have to stay back a little bit, right? I'm not going to feel free to be up a little tighter on the net, be able to cut off any kind of short return, be able to cut off any kind of return that's kind of lurking, that's kind of going through the middle. And to me, that just makes no sense. So I get it, man. Senior tennis, certain age groups, certain players, certain permanent injuries mean that you can't cover. If you're the server, you probably can't cover a good lob if you are trying to serve and volley. So if that's the case, what I would tell you is that if you're going to serve and volley, and I do this a lot, especially against someone who I think is got the possibility of lobbing, I'm going to do my split step earlier than later, so that I can cover the lob, number one. But number two, I don't have a problem with any kind of transitional shot. I don't care where it is. I don't care if I'm smack dab in the middle of no man's land. I don't care if you scorch one where I've just got to absorb, the pace as a volley. I don't care if you scorch one where I've got to play a half volley, because again, I'm just absorbing the ball, creating my racket in relation to my body as a backboard for a moment in time where it can just rebound back cross court. Sure. I mean, look, the half volley, a little bit of tricky, but only because we make it tricky. We think we have to do a lot with stroke technique. And actually, half volley, you need to do less, right? Or if it's going to be approach shot, I put on the brakes and they play the return short and the ball bounces up, I'll play an approach shot. Any of those three situations, I'm probably going to end up in the same spot right around the service line for the next ball. Maybe a hair behind it or maybe a hair in front of it, kind of depending on where that returner is back there, right? Whether they're coming in or they're staying back. But my point here is that if you can get comfortable with transitional shots, volley, half volley, approach, then you've got the luxury of being able to put the brakes on a little bit earlier for that split step as you come in out of your serve to be able to cover the lob over your partner, right? And if that's the case, then I really believe that you guys are in the driver's seat, because you've now got a partner up there when you're serving a volley who feels free to be able to pinch the net a little bit closer, to be able to be a little bit more aggressive court position wise, knowing that you're going to cover the lob return over them, right? And as you saw on this point, if you give your partner that freedom and you're willing to give up court position for just one shot, that one lob, and you'll go back and just play a nice high defensive, hopefully it's deep, you can work on it, right? I can't give you the answer like that. You got to practice this stuff, right? Just get creative out there. Get resourceful in terms of a drill. Have someone lob, go back over there. If it's your backhand, just forehand, whatever. Just practice height and depth. And once you sense that you've got it up high, number one, and then number two, it's going to be deep, come in. You've already got your partner up there. Well, in Chris's case, Chris came back with me, not sure about if I was going to get the lob and be able to play it. That's fine. He can come back a little bit. But then both you guys recognize it's deep, it's high, it's deep. Come in, and now you've got the net position as a team, as if you were serving and volleying, and there was no lob. It's the same thing. So, rant. Rant, Monday morning rant. All right, guys. Look, again, a reminder, one-on-one private coaching. I want to help you. If there's some specific part of your game you're just not getting figured out, let's stop the frustration and let me help you. And so, look, what I'm going to do is help you with some video in terms of, I want to give you a model to copy, number one. And this is just, it's just a little repeat video. You're going to watch this thing, a couple times a day. It's only for a couple of minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, a couple times a day, so that you start to impress on your brain. Let's get below the conscious level. Let's get into the sub, maybe even the unconscious level. So your brain starts to believe this is what you want to be doing with that technique, if it's technique, right? And then I'll give you, here are the different parts of the model that you can go out and work on. 3. We don't need to go like, well, here are the 17 different parts of a forehand topspin rally ball. No, 3. Let's make it 3. And I'll give you those parts, those chunks. You go out there and consciously work on those. And then, eventually it works into your subconscious, right? You're watching that repeat model video a couple times a day. I don't know how long it's going to take. If you're really diligent and you really get into it, and it could be pretty quick. Guys, if you're interested on this or in this, shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, and I'll get back to you and let you know what the program is, how it works, what the price is, and then you decide if this is something that could be a good fit for your game. And look, I know I got some players out there who've written me before, and they say, I really don't want you to see my forehand. Hey, look, come on. I mean, I've been teaching the game on court for 50 plus years. I have seen it all in terms of stroke technique, right? So don't be embarrassed, right? If that's what you're thinking. And certainly anything you send me is private. I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to share it online. That'd be dumb. All right, guys, that's it for me today. As always, it's time for all of us. We got to get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, let's do this again tomorrow.